Starfur was a small, white rabbit who lived in a cozy burrow in the countryside. She was a gentle and kind creature, loved by all of her family and friends. Every day was filled with adventure and exploration as she hopped around the meadows and woods, discovering new sights and sounds. But one day, something unexpected happened, an adventure that would take her far away from home. This is the story of Starfur's journey. Starfur's life at home was peaceful and content. He spent his days playing with his siblings and exploring the nearby woods. His parents were loving and supportive and always encouraged him to pursue his dreams. Every night, they would gather around the fire and tell stories of heroes and adventurers. These tales filled Starfur with a sense of wanderlust and curiosity about the world beyond his home. He dreamed of one day going on his own grand adventure. Starfur's life was forever changed when his beloved owner suddenly passed away with no other family to take him in. Starfur was left alone in the world. He was determined to find a new home and set off on a journey in search of one. Little did he know, the adventure that lay ahead of him would be far greater than he ever imagined. After a tearful goodbye to her family, Starfur set off on her journey. She was filled with excitement and anticipation for the unknown adventures that lay ahead. She had no idea what the future held, but she was determined to make the most of it despite her fears and uncertainties. She was determined to stay strong and take on the challenge as she traveled. She took in the sights and sounds of the world around her, and she felt a sense of freedom and independence. She knew that this journey would be life-changing, and she was ready to take it on. Starfur had never seen such a vast and beautiful land before. He was mesmerized by the rolling hills, the lush green forests, and the sparkling rivers. He felt both excited and scared by the adventure that lay ahead. But he was determined to make the most of this newfound freedom. He explored the area, taking in the sights and sounds of the new land and discovering the many wonders it had to offer. He was sure that this was the place he would call home. After arriving in the new land, I quickly realized how important it was to make friends everywhere I went. I was met with smiles and warm welcomes. I began to make friends with the locals, learning about their culture and customs. I was surprised by how quickly I was accepted into the community and found comfort in the fact that I had new friends to share my experiences with. We would explore the land together, learning about the different places and cultures that made up this new home of mine. Despite the language barrier, we managed to communicate and develop strong bonds with one another. Through these friendships, I was able to gain a better understanding of the land and its people. Having arrived in the new land, I was eager to explore its many wonders. I set out on foot, taking in the sights, sounds, and smells of the unfamiliar environment. I encountered a variety of flora and fauna, some of which I had never seen before. I marveled at the rolling hills, lush green valleys, and majestic mountains that stretched out before me. I crossed rivers and streams and trekked through forests and meadows. Everywhere I went, I was in awe of the beauty of the land, I found myself captivated by the wonders of nature and the mysteries that it held. I knew that I had only scratched the surface of this new land, and I was eager to see what else it had to offer. As we explored the new land, we began to realize the challenges that lay ahead. We were unfamiliar with the terrain and the wildlife, and we had to learn how to survive in this unfamiliar land. We faced difficult decisions on how to build our new home and how to protect ourselves from the elements. We had to find new sources of food and water and learn to adapt to the environment. We also had to contend with the possibility of encountering hostile natives despite the challenges. We were determined to make a new life for ourselves in this unfamiliar land. The protagonist had come a long way from their home to this new land, and they had faced many challenges along the way, but now they faced their greatest challenge yet. Learning how to protect themselves in a hostile environment, they had to learn how to survive in the wild and how to use weapons to defend themselves from danger. They had to figure out how to make their own shelter and how to hunt for food. It was a daunting task, but the protagonist was determined to make it work. After all, this was their new home, and they wanted to make sure it was safe. With determination and hard work, the protagonist was able to overcome their final challenge and make a home for themselves in this new land. After the final challenge had been completed, the adventurers set off on their journey home. It was a long, arduous trek, filled with dangers and obstacles that had to be overcome. Despite these hardships, the adventurers persevered and made it back to their homes. As they arrived, the adventurers were met with cheers and applause from their friends and family, who had been eagerly awaiting their return. The adventurers had come home victorious, and they were welcomed with open arms. After completing their final challenge, the adventurers returned home to a hero's welcome. Crowds of people lined the streets, cheering and applauding their bravery and courage. The mayor presented each of them with a medal of honor for their service and courage. The adventurers were also welcomed with a grand feast, where they enjoyed a delicious meal and toasted to their success. Everyone celebrated the adventurers' return with music, dancing, and laughter. It was a joyous celebration that marked the end of their journey and the beginning of a new life. The return home was the first step in the journey of a new life now. The heroes had to face the challenge of reintegrating into society, rebuilding their lives, and finding their place in the world. They had to learn how to cope with the changes that had been wrought by their absence, and to build a new life that was meaningful and fulfilling. They had to find a way to use their newfound knowledge and skills to make a positive contribution to the world around them. It was a difficult and daunting task, but with courage and determination, the heroes were able to make a new life for themselves.
If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from us. We'll be bringing you more exciting stories and videos like this one. See you next time.